Hi friends, I am D. Pawan Kalyan studying second year BPC. I am came from TTW EMR COE Boys Gandhari. So friends, every organism need to change, every organism need to transport their various substances from one place to another place in their body. So friends, I want to ask a small question that which system can capable to transport various substances from one place to another place in our body? Yes, the blood circulatory system only can capable to transport various substances from one place to another place in our body. So friends, what is the function of blood circulatory system? Yes, the blood circulatory system always carries the essential materials such as oxygen and nutrients to cells or the tissue, and at the same time this blood circulatory system can carry away from our body those are nitrogen waste materials and CO2. They can carry away from our body. Friends, next when we compare this blood circulatory system with our nature, like if you want to transport water from one place to another place, we require a pipeline. What is the use of pipeline? It is a one type of way which can useful for transport of water from one place to another place. So which system can capable how the water will transfer from one place to another place? Yes, by a pumping station. A pumping station can give some amount of pressure to the water, then only water can move from one place to another place in our body. So here this blood circulation, this pipeline system we are comparing with our blood circulatory system. Here the water is nothing but the blood, and here the water pipelines which are present, these are the blood vessels, and here the pumping station which is present, which applies more pressure, here that is heart. Heart is nothing but heart, it is a muscular pouch like organ which can continuously transport the blood from one place to another place in our body. So friends, today my topic is that human cardiovascular system. Humans are nothing but, we know that humans are the Homo sapiens, and cardiovascular system means, cardio means it is the heart. What is the study of heart? Yes, cardiology. Cardiology is the study of heart. And what is meant by vascular system? Vascular system is nothing but the blood system. Mainly this human cardiovascular system consisting of a chamber heart, a four chamber heart. So this heart consisting of four chambers, this upper right atria, and this upper left one is ventricle, left one is atria, and this lower ones are called left, this is the right ventricle and it is the left ventricle, and it consisting of mainly caval veins and coronary sinus and pulmonary veins. So here the caval veins are nothing but these are the carries always deoxygenated blood from our body through two caval veins. These two caval veins arises from our right atrium. These are caval veins are three in our body. Those are upper two precaval vein and lower one is called postcaval vein. These two caval veins always carries the deoxygenated blood from various parts of our body. And next one is that is the coronary sinus. Coronary sinus is nothing but it is also one type of system which can carry the deoxygenated blood from our heart muscles only. And pulmonary veins. Pulmonary veins are nothing but these carries always the oxygenated blood from upper two lungs. These pulmonary veins are two types as right pulmonary vein and left pulmonary vein. And mainly the human cardiovascular system consisting of another thing, that is the heart. It is the heart. Heart is nothing but a muscular pouch like organ. It is a pulsating organ. It is the size of our clincher fish, and average weight of heart is 250 to 320 grams. And next we are going to discussing about aortic arches. Aortic arches are nothing but these aortic arches are two types. Those are systemic arches and pulmonary arches. These systemic arches always carries the oxygenated blood to different parts of our body, and these pulmonary arches are always carries the deoxygenated blood to different parts of our body. Next we are going to discuss location of heart. Where our heart is located? Yes, the heart is located in the mediastinum. So friends, it is my thoracic region. In my thoracic region, my two lungs are present. In between the two lungs, a organ is present. The organ is nothing but heart. It is the size of our clincher fish. So the location of heart is the mediastinum. Mediastinum is nothing but media means a middle and sternum means a place. So the heart is located at mediastinum. Next we are going to discussing about external structure of heart. Mainly the heart is covered by double walled pericardium and outer one is fibrous pericardium and inner one is serous pericardium. This inner serous pericardium is divided into two types, outer visceral layer and inner parietal layer. This outer visceral layer is attached to the upper surface of heart is nothing but the fibrous pericardium, and this inner parietal layer is attached to the surface of the heart. So friends, we are going to now see that it is the mammalian heart. It is the pericardial membrane. The upper one is called fibrous pericardial membrane and inner one is serous pericardial membrane. This inner serous pericardium is divided into two types, outer visceral layer and inner parietal layer. So this parietal layer is always attached to the upper surface of heart, and this outer visceral layer is always attached to the upper fibrous surface of the heart, and these two layers are form outer epicardium of the heart layer, and in between the two layers we have an pericardial space. In this pericardial space we have an pericardial fluid. Pericardial fluid is nothing but which can reduce the friction in between the two heart layers, and it allows the free movement of the heart. And the auricular appendices. Auricular appendix is nothing but it is an transfer section when we see in the heart. These are arises from the two atrias and the coronary sulcus. Coronary sulcus is nothing but it is an transfer of the heart which are larger the coronary arteries. Coronary arteries are nothing but these are the arteries which can transport the oxygenated blood to heart layers only. So friends, here we have to discuss that coronary sulcus is nothing but it is a transfer section in the heart, and in this coronary sulcus the coronary arteries are located. What is the function of coronary artery mean? These are always carries the oxygenated blood to our heart. So friends, we will be see this in the heart. It is a mammalian heart, and these are the coronary sulcus. These are the coronary sulcus, which are coronary arteries are larger. So these red color one are called coronary arteries, which can transport the oxygenated blood to only heart layers only. And it is the auricular appendix which can separate upper atrias and lower ventricles. Next we are going to discussing the internal structure of heart. Human heart has mainly four chambers. What are the four chambers? Yes, upper two are called right atrium and left atrium, and lower two are called right ventricle and left ventricle. So friends, now we are see in the mammalian heart. Here it is the right atria, and it is the left atria, and it is the right ventricle, and it is the left ventricle. These are the heart chambers. And next we are going to discussing about the atrias. Atrias are nothing but atrias are two upper receiving chambers separated by an interatrial septum. Interatrial septum is nothing but an septum which can separate as right atria and left atria, that is called interatrial septum, and these atrias are very thinner than the ventricles. And now we are going to discussing about the right atria. Right atrias are the blood receiving chambers. These are always receives the deoxygenated blood from different parts of our body. So these atrias are two type. In this atria there is two caval veins are present. These caval veins are always carries the deoxygenated blood from different parts of our body. As we have discussed now that upper one are called upper superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. Upper superior vena cava always carries the deoxygenated blood from our head and our forelimbs and from our thoracic region, and lower one superior vena cava always carries the deoxygenated blood from our abdominal region and from our hind limbs. So these are the two vena cavas, and these two vena cavas are opens into the right atrium. And in this right atrium there are the sinoatrial nodes. Sinoatrial nodes are nothing but these are the pacemakers of heart which can regulate the heart function. And these sinoatrial nodes are always produce the action potential, and which they can generate electrical impulses in the heart. And these sinoatrial nodes are transmit these impulses to the AV valves, mean nothing but atrioventricular valves. These sinoatrial nodes are present at upper left corner of the right atria, and these AV valves are present at lower right corner of the atria, and these AV walls can transmit this action potential to all the parts of our heart through bundle of His or Purkinje fibers. This is about the right atria, and next we are going to discussing about the left atria. Left atria always receives the oxygenated blood from our two lungs through two pulmonary veins as right pulmonary vein and as left pulmonary vein. These two pulmonary veins are always carries the oxygenated blood from our two lungs. Next we are going to here very important note is that in the fetal heart, in between the two atria are separated by an interatrial septum. There has a small pore that is called foramen ovale. Normally the foramen ovale closes at birth, but when the lungs are become, the foramen ovale is closes as fossa ovale. It represented as a small depression in between the two atria, the nothing but interatrial septum. It is not closed properly. If this foramen ovale is not closed properly, that is called patent foramen ovale. So this is the note we have to and next we are going to discussing about the ventricles. These are the thick walled blood pumping chambers. What atria ventricles are the upper chambers, thick chambers which can receive the blood from upper two atria, and they are the pumping chambers which can pump the blood to different parts of our body as oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood. And these ventricles are separated by an interventricular septum which can separate as left one is left ventricle and right ventricle is right ventricle, as these two are separated by an interventricular septum. So friends, here we have to note that upper two atria and lower two ventricles, how they are separated, as these upper two atria and lower two ventricles are separated by an interatrioventricular septum. Interatrioventricular septum. This septum can separate as upper atria and lower ventricles. So when we say friends, in inner walls of the ventricle are raised into a muscular ridges. These muscular ridges are called columnae carneae or trabeculocarneae. These are projecting from inner walls of the ventricles. So friends, we will see in this heart. Here just see, these are the muscular ridges in the inner side of the ventricle. These are razor like. These are the columnae carneae, and in this heart only we have some of these ridges are large and some of these are small, and they are conical and are called papillary muscles. These are the papillary muscles. Just we can see in the heart, these are the papillary muscles, and again these papillary muscles goes into cardiac tendinae. Cardiac tendinae is nothing but it is a tendinae which can give support to the two upper walls as bicuspid wall and tricuspid wall. This tricuspid wall is present at the left. This tricuspid wall is present at right atrioventricular septum, and this bicuspid wall is present at left atrioventricular septum. These cardiac tendinae always gives the support to the these two walls. And in this heart only we can see that here it is an interventricular septum which can separate as right atria and left atria. So it is an interatrial septum, and it is the atrioventricular septum which can separate as upper atria, which can separate as lower ventricles. So it is the atrioventricular septum, and these are the papillary muscles, and these are the cardiac tendinae. We have visible this cardiac tendinae. This gives support to the two walls, those tricuspid wall and bicuspid wall. Now we are going to discussing about the aortic arches. These aortic arches are two types as pulmonary arch and systemic arch. This pulmonary arch arises from the left anterior angle of right ventricle, and its opening is guarded by the pulmonary wall. It carries the deoxygenated blood to lungs. So here this pulmonary arch always carries the deoxygenated blood from different parts of heart. When the atria shows atrial systole, it means the time of the atrial systole is 0.1 second. So here sinoatrial nodes are activate, and they shows some of the contraction of upper two atria. when the upper atria shows contraction, at that time which is the blood present in the upper atria, it will comes into the lower ventricle. So when the lower ventricles came, the blood, those are separated as left. This deoxygenated blood is present in the right ventricle and oxygenated blood is present in the left ventricle. So when these are the systemic arches, the pulmonary arch always carries the deoxygenated blood and it is arises from the right ventricle and it carries the deoxygenated blood from for lungs for the purpose of purification. And this again systemic arch. This systemic arch always carries the oxygenated blood to different parts of our body for the metabolic activities. Without metabolic activities, we cannot move and we cannot do anything. So these are the two walls which are useful to us, the pulmonary arch and systemic arch. These are main two important arches in our heart. So friends, and its opening is guarded, this pulmonary wall is guarded by the pulmonary valve and the lower systemic arches are guarded by the systemic valve or aortic valve. And in this there is a fibrous strand known as ligamentum arteriosum. It is the ligamentum arteriosum. It is ligamentum arteriosum when the lungs are become functional, when the after the birth, this ligamentum arteriosum will be changed. And next we are going to discussing about the heart valves. These heart valves are the main in the heart. Because of these heart valves are work like as a in the pipeline. If you stop the water at a one place, we are using the valves. At the same time in our heart also, if you want to stop the blood at a one place, we use the heart valves. Without heart valves, our heart cannot be regulated. So blood will carry different parts. We cannot control the blood. So these are heart valves. The trapezius valve, hose opening into the right atrium, and this is guarded by the coronary. It is coronary sinus. Here we have discussed that coronary sinus always carries the deoxygenated blood from only heart valves, and it is guarded by the trapezius valve. That is called trapezius valve. And next we are going to discussing about the Eustachian valve. This Eustachian valve is present in the right atrium only, and it is guarded by the postcaval vein. Its opening into the right atrium. So when the deoxygenated blood which is carried by the postcaval vein, it means from the abdominal region, from our hind limbs, which is the deoxygenated blood came into the right atrium, and it is guarded by the Eustachian valve. And next we are going to discussing about the bicuspid valve. This bicuspid valve is again also called as mitral valve. Where this bicuspid valve is present? Yes, this bicuspid valve is present at left atrioventricular septum, which can separate as upper atrius and lower ventricle. In between the two regions, there is an bicuspid valve is present. That is called bicuspid valve, and it is present at left atrioventricular septum. And next again, that is tricuspid valve. Tricuspid means tri means three. It means they have three cuspids. It is called tricuspid valve. It is separated by right atrioventricular septum, and it is present at right atrioventricular septum, which can separate as upper atrius and lower ventricles. So here finally the tricuspid valve is present at right atrioventricular septum. And next the semilunar valves. These semilunar valves are present at the pulmonary arches. Those are pulmonary valves and aortic arches. In aortic valves, these are two valves are combined to form a semilunar valve. We could not able to visible in this heart because of those valves are very sensitive. So we could not able to visible these valves. So I simply explain that the first one is trapezius valve. This trapezius valve is present at right atrium. It means in the right atrium the trapezius valve is present, and the Eustachian valve, it is present as at the right atrium only. And this bicuspid valve, this bicuspid valve is present at here. It means it is present at left atrioventricular septum, which can separate upper atrius and ventricle. Here the bicuspid valves are present, and here the tricuspid valves are present. The tricuspid valves are present at right atrioventricular septum. So when the ventricles are shows the contraction, it means ventricular systole. When the ventricular systole will be occur, the time second is 0.3 second. When the ventricular systole will be occur, which is the blood present in the ventricles, it will shows the contraction of ventricles, and it will pumps into different parts of our body through pulmonary arch and systemic arch. So it is And now we can visible in the diagram. Here those are the pulmonary walls. Here these are tricuspid wall, and it is a bicuspid wall. It is also called aortic wall. It is mitral wall. It is also called bicuspid wall, and it is aortic wall, and it is the pulmonary walls which are arises from pulmonary arches, and it is aortic arch, which is aortic wall, which is arises from the systemic arch, and it is the left atrium, and right ventricle and left ventricle. Here we have these are the columnae carneae, which shows muscular ridges in the heart, and these are the papillary muscles, and these are the cardiac tendinae, which gives the support to the two upper heart walls. So the final conclusion is that this total hearts, so which is the blood, without heart we cannot live. So which is the blood received in the right ventricle through two caval veins, postcaval vein, and upper superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. These are carries into the right atrium, and in the left atrium these two pulmonary veins are always carries the oxygenated blood from the two lungs, and which is the blood came into the upper two atrias. It will goes into the ventricles when the atria shows the contraction. When the atria shows the contraction, this total blood will be came into the lower ventricles, and when the blood will came into the lower ventricle, in the right ventricle we have the deoxygenated blood, and in the left ventricle we have the oxygenated blood. When these two bloods are came into the lower ventricle, when the ventricles are shows the contraction, it means ventricular systole. When the ventricular systole will be occur, which is the blood present in the ventricles, it will be goes outside. These two types of blood goes outside, as deoxygenated blood will goes to the lungs for the purification, and the oxygenated blood goes to different parts of our body for the metabolic activities. This total cardiac cycle will occurs the 0.8 second. And we have the important, that is the pacemakers. The pacemakers of the heart are the sinusoidal nodes, which can generate electrical impulses. Without electrical impulses we cannot show the contraction and relaxation of our atria and ventricles. So finally I want to thankful to our Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar sir, who gave in a beautiful and wonderful opportunity to me. He was the supreme sparrow of the Gurukulam. I special thanks to Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar sir, and my college principal Kishan sir, and my guide lecturer who given a good support to me. I want to thankful to N. Suresh sir. Thank you.